Some experts are suggesting the South African Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has some scope to pull the trigger again and cut interest rates when it meets for the first time this week. The decision will be announced by the Governor Lesetja Kganyago on Thursday. I want to talk now to economist Lumkile Mondi. He's a regular commentator on our program, and today we're finding him in Washington, D.C. this lunchtime, also watching the dying hours of the Trump presidency. I have no doubt that he has some thoughts to share with us in that respect. But to interest rates first, Lumkile, good afternoon to you, South African time. What's your view? Is there room to move?
There's lots of room to move. However, it will be very, very unfair in terms as an instrument, really, of trying to meet consumers and business in some form or other way. I think, Jeremy, any cut on interest rates will be punishing savers who are very critical at the moment, where there is less economic activity due to the lockdown. At the same time, also, it will only benefit those few that have access to credit. We know that many South Africans have lost their jobs. Many South Africans don't have access to basic needs because South Africa, unlike many other countries, has failed to provide a broader coverage, a long-term basic income grant that will ensure that there is no South African that goes to bed without food. So I think at this juncture, any cut interest rate will be a very blunt instrument to address the challenges of the day, which are faced by consumers as well as businesses in South Africa.
Lumkile, on a broader level, just in terms of short-term economic outlook, are you expecting more contraction in the first quarter? And what's your current inflation outlook then?
We expect inflation to really continue declining in South Africa. First, because many of the businesses are losing revenue due to intermittent power interruption by Eskom. But secondly, also, the lockdowns have had a huge impact in the multiplier effects of an economy, even at level 1. So we're expecting real inflation to continue declining in the short to medium term. However, we're expecting a huge knock in the economy, which was recovering following that hard knockdown that we'd seen in the first quarter of 2020. So I think South Africa is in a deep crisis. Therefore, it will require in February a huge deficit financing coming from the Treasury, pushing deficit to that 20%, firstly to try and ensure that the purchase of vaccines is secured, and secondly, that there's a huge stimulus across many areas of infrastructure, which continues to fail despite the fact that we are in a lockdown economically.
South Africa might be in a deep crisis, as is the United States of America, where you sit today. Early Tuesday morning, you have a front row seat in Washington to the inauguration. Happens at 7 p.m. South African time tomorrow. What's the atmosphere? What are you seeing? What are you reading?
So the capital is militarized following the events of the 6th of January. So there's a whole security around the capital. But more importantly, I think not only is the capital itself, I think all states in America, their capitals have really been fortified to try and prevent any possible march leading to invasion and breach of security that we saw at the Washington Capitol on the 6th of January. I think, Jeremy, for many South Africans, this is a historic moment, I think, for democracy, that in fact, through organization, through mass mobilization, that today or tomorrow, in fact, we'll be able to witness a minority, in this case, a woman, who will occupy one of the highest positions in the world as a deputy president of the USA. So this is really a historical occasion, and in fact, it really signifies also for South Africans that democracy is fragile. Therefore, society has to be vigilant we have to organize and ensure that we hold those in power accountable, as we have seen that the gains and the reversal of Trumpism were forged in communities, where communities organized and pushed hard to try and defeat the Republicans and bring back a democratic regime, which tomorrow will find its birth after 12 years in Washington.
And Lumkile Monde, I hope I can touch bases with you tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed, economist Lumkile Monde in the American capital.